What's up, guys? This is Jason Cunningham. This will be my first video on how to build a PC, all the way down to custom water cooling loop, how to run multiple GPUs, how to do pre-treatment to your custom loop, and basically all the parts that come with it. This is my custom PC. It's called the Revolutionary Edition. If you can think of Revolution, the red, white, and blue, good old US. I just got my my new XSPC RAYSTORM CPU universal water cooler. I think it's with the D5 or X20 pump, I can't remember. But it's a dual bay reservoir pump. I'll show you all the components I got on this messy kitchen table. The case I'm modifying and customizing is the NZXT Phantom 630. I've done some extensive modding to it. The traditional side panel window, I went to a full side panel window, but also I'm cutting out a fan slot for a 200mm fan that traditionally goes in on the side panel, and make sure there's enough clearance above the power supply unit so that it can cool off, you know, the passive heat sinks, and especially the dual graphics card running in slide configuration. On top of that, I'm also customizing my Thermaltake. I don't remember the series number. You'll see it. I'll show you pictures of all this and catch everybody up here in a moment. It's a Thermaltake case. It's their AMD edition. This is the kitchen table. It's all spaced out with parts. Now this is my NZXT 630 case with all the side panels, top panel, front panel off. And you can see I mean, this case is just a beast, flat out beast for, you know, full size ATX. You can do mini, I mean, I don't know why you put a mini ITX board in, but I mean, you can hold up to a 360mm radiator up top. It's just a monster. Custom fan controls, high, medium, low, LEDs, SD card. I might take this out because I really don't use CD or optic drives anymore. Just use a flash drive or whatever. Just that 5 or 6 light LED. It just shoots out right through here into the case. You'll notice it's more, obviously it's a white case, of course, but because of the motherboard, there's a bunch of blues on it. But some of the parts, because even though this is a $3,000 build, I'm still limited on what I can get at the time of when I purchase it in terms of the deals I can find and buy and what I'm willing to invest in, so that I can get a return on my investment when I sell these products. This one's a personal one. I won't be selling this anytime soon, but some other pieces, I got about 10 in the works I'm working on. People don't know my name yet, except on Amazon, a few other forums that I'm on where I help out people and whatnot. Just kind of want to give some people a rundown on some of the stuff I do, the modifications I do, and the attention to detail, like cable management, you know, the aesthetics, the look, and ultimately what boils down to the power. You know, this is just like modifying a car. You know, instead of a 4-cylinder little Honda Civic, we're going with the twin turbo or supercharged Mustang Cobra, for example. So some of these pieces you may say, oh, they're about a year or two old, but with the new Haswell architecture, you know, the socket 2011s, all that stuff. This is 1155 board, the Ivy Bridge, not Sandy Bridge. This is the Beast. This is the MSI Military Class 3 Edition OC Genie 2. But it's the Z77A GD65. The reason why I went with this motherboard is not just the functionality and how amazing it is to work with on a test bench or inside of a PC, but it's awesome specifications and products like the MSI SFC or super ferrite chokes for some big time overclocking. You can see the heat sinks over the VRM and MOSFETs with the heat pipe, the Dr. Moss design. We got 3 PCI X1 slots, and then 4 actually, and then we got 3 PCI Express 16 lanes. I think 2 or 16. They may all be 16, like my 990FX Fatality Edition, or the bottom one, can run an X8. I can't remember. Before I go too far, the reason why I am kind of just giving you a quick overview. I'll explain all this when I get a chance. But again, I got the new XSPC RAYSTORM CPU water block custom. There's the pump and reservoir combo. I already put the G14 or G 1/4 inch threading, the chrome black combo threads, which are freaking sick. You might be wondering why I got this Neptune 280L 280mm radiator, not the traditional 240. It's a beast. I do have the XSPC that came with that kit onto this cooler because I'm running a push-pull configuration. I need in my opinion, I'm not really big on the fan noise. I'm not a crybaby and complain that I need my PC completely silent. Come on, give me a break. If you're going to be running hardcore performance, yeah, you can find a fine medium, but eventually you're not going to overcome the sound too much if you're going all out, so to speak, unless you're using all Noctua fans and whatnot. But anyways, I'll go over all this stuff in a moment and what I've done. But before I do that, here's the bad boy right here, the XSPC radiator. It's designed to fit the two 140mm fans that I got, which are the Corsair silent or SP static pressure fans. They're 140 with blue LED lights. I'm doing a push-pull configuration. Right now I got the in and out for the loop. Right now I'm distilling some, or heating up distilled water, because I'm going to flush this new radiator out. And that's what I've noticed in videos, is people do not tend to seem to explain that. Just because you get a new part doesn't mean that it's going to be perfectly clean and dust free, etc., etc. So what I recommend doing is reaching a boiling point. Once you reach the boiling point, wait about a couple minutes, and I already got gloves on. And then from that point, what I got is a traditional funnel. I'll use that to obviously fit in there and pour the liquid in. Fill it all the way up, or no, 3/4 up, because you want some pressure when you're shaking it around to discharge any loose materials, anything of that nature that you don't want to get sucked up into your loop and reservoir and cause damage to your custom water cooling. When you're done filling it up 3/4 of the way, you want to put the caps that came with it, which you can see here, that closes the inlet and the outlet of the water block, or the radiator, sorry. And then shake it up. Do that for about 5 minutes. When you're done, I like to pour it into a bucket, just so I can see if there is any particles or anything in there, to make sure that my work was successful and to my satisfaction, so that I know when I put it in my rig that I don't have any contaminants in it. So it's a very logical way to assess your build and make sure you're doing every proper step necessary in order to have it function to the best of its potential. And this cooling kit is a beast, so I'll go into all that in a little moment. But since I'm back to YouTube, anyway, since this is I've been fighting cancer for 2 years. I got leukemia, AML. Just got done with chemo yesterday. I mean, been on the deathbed more than a few times, and that's no joke. I got proof to do that, and I have a documentary coming out soon, so please be supportive and check that out. Any one of my videos from here on out, I'm going to be as thorough. I got ADD bad, so having ADD makes me do things very meticulously, and I want to take you guys along for the ride and show you step by step how I do things. It may be different than you. There may be others way out there 10 times better than me. I am by no means an expert, nor I claim to be. I just know the fundamentals. I've been working in the PC business 10 plus years, the building part of it about 3 years, overclocking about the same. I'm a fan of both sides. I'm not a fanboy of just Intel or AMD. I love them both. They have their positive, negatives, especially price. I can go on about that. So I'm pretty unbiased, or neutral, so to speak. And just want to, I don't get freebies from these companies from doing videos like other tech companies or video distribution sites, or even YouTubers for that matter, who do reviews and whatnot. Eventually I'll get there. So you got to start somewhere, and to me, this is a passion I have. I love to learn and keep learning, and I will continue to do that. and it helps me overcome this battle with my cancer that I got. It keeps my mind focused elsewhere. I'm not dwelling on what I got, how much time do I got to live. I'm not worried about that. I'm not gonna, this isn't feel bad for Jason. Again, I'm Jason Cunningham. I do own Imperial PC Customs. It's a new business that I've launched with my partner because we used to own a marketing company that did business development, website development, anything to do with marketing in general. I've integrated this into the corporation as a subsidiary, so I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to be successful. I'm not one to sit there and do fundraisers and whatnot. I've never done such a thing. Even though people tell me I deserve to and should to, because I've been 2 years of hell, not even leaving the house, not a vacation. So this is therapeutic to me, and I hope you guys will understand that and just be supportive. You might not like the builds or think that they're the best that you've seen out there, but with the parts and everything that I choose, the performance is what matters and what you're happy with, right? So, I still got an LGA 775 or an Intel Core 2 Quad Q9550. Twelve megabytes of L2 cache. Again, it's a LGA 775 socket motherboard. That's I got the P5ND and the what is it? The P5Q or one of those things where it's the Wi-Fi AP model. I can't remember, but it has the heat sink and on the north bridge, south bridge, the cooling pipe. It's a decked out board, heavy overclocker. I've put MOS C1, MOSFET heat sinks on it. I've done everything I can cooling wise to it with the exception of water cooling. I might throw on my side-on 120V, just a 120 millimeter radiator push-pull configuration with Cooler Master, Blade Master, 2000 RPM static pressure fans, and so it does a good job. you know. My point with that is I got 8 gigs of 1066 megahertz DDR2 on that. Overclocked it to 4.12, and you know I push to the limits, but I do it within safe margins because I do sell these, so I keep all my profiles saved, overclocking profiles, so when I sell it I return it to its default states so that the client or consumer can then choose to go into the profiles and select, okay, maybe I want to overclock it a little bit, maybe I want to go pretty hardcore with it because of the amount of cooling add-ons I add to keep it safe, to keep it within safe temps, to keep it from, you know, thermal throttle and all that good stuff. So I'm a fan of water cooling in general, and just the cool looks that you can do with them. A lot of people say, oh, LEDs are gay and blah blah blah. Screw that. I think it's whatever you can do that's visually pleasing and also, you know, aesthetically, I should say, and again, the sheer performance output of what your build is. You know, is it going to be beast mode or is it going to be wimp mode? So as long as you can keep it within that, I mean, nothing's future proof. But to me, 2 to 5 years time, I'm cool with. I'm cool with as long as it can play the latest and greatest games. I know a lot of games are demanding a lot more VRAM on the GPUs and whatnot. There's a lot of things you can overcome with tweaks and overclocking and yada yada yada. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to cleaning the radiator out. I'll give you a little demo of it, but again, I just wanted to introduce myself since this is the first video. I know this is long-winded, but I will be breaking down what I'm doing piece by piece and taking you along with me. So please subscribe, like, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever the video. I would hope that you would support me. I'm not claiming to be a pro or the best in the world, or you know, I'm not none of these big YouTube sites and whatnot like Linus Tech Tips and all them. Shout out to them. Great quad or squad of guys. I mean, they know what they're doing. They're hardcore. I've learned so much from just tons of people online, and so I want to divulge and share what I know, and maybe this can help somebody out there who's stuck, confused, lost, doesn't know you know, much about the little things. For example, like the thermal paste in this kit that I got. It's the XSPC K2 thermal paste, and you don't see that in any of the charts or forums where you can compare, you know, the temp levels and whatnot, and I guess really how to make it seat and whatnot. I mean, there's not a lot of details on that. I'm gonna tell you it's a great thermal paste. Again, I won't be using it, but for everybody out there who's wondering if it's any good, it comes close to, in my opinion, performance-wise, to Arctic Silver 5, I would say. Pretty close, pretty close. I mean, with these high-end kits, you would want to put something like that. It'd be pointless not to, as a manufacturer, so to speak. There are some things I don't like the fans being just a 3-pin, not PWN. Although with my fan controller, that's not a big deal. And again, I did put those fans on my Neptune 280L closed loop cooler that will be going in another chassis that I'm building, where I am going to mount it externally. And since it's long enough, the tubing wise, I'll be able to mount it to my ASRock Fatality 990 FX Killer motherboard with the AMD FX 6300. I don't want to hear about go with the 8350, yada yada yada, 6350. I'm cool. Like I said, I do what I do to where I'm satisfied. I push my stuff to the limits. I'll show you benchmarks. I'm going to show you a ton of stuff, you guys, so not to worry. Again, thank you for hanging in there this long, at least hearing me out. I am new, so I felt it's necessary to explain some things. But like I said, I'll go over everything. I got to hurry and clean the radiator that I'm going to mount to this, so again, stay tuned. Like I said, please subscribe, like, favorite, share, especially. A lot of people hear that from channels, but there's ways for, instead of doing fundraisers and all that stuff, this is other ways that I can generate some type of revenue or kickback from YouTube and affiliates and whatnot, just by simply doing something free. So you would be helping me and vice versa. I provide entertainment and reviews, overviews, guides. I'm going to be doing it all, and I'm going to be a contender. So I'd like all your support. Again, this is Jason Cunningham signing out. Peace. Okay guys, I just wanted to give you a quick update. I poured about a half gallon of heated distilled water, because you don't want to use anything else like regular water and corrosive materials that can put algae and all that gunk into your system. So first point of advice is never use regular water or solvents or anything of that nature. Stick to what would be going into a custom loop or a water cooler in general, just to avoid any future disasters that could happen, especially with antimicrobials and algae buildup. No different than an aquarium or your car. And you're not going to run your car on water. You're going to put antifreeze in it, so a radiator's a radiator nonetheless. It's meant to cool and do so in a restrictive, clean environment. So I just did 5 flushes, about a minute each of boiling hot water, and I just wanted to show you. It wasn't a lot, I was surprised. I want to give a shout out to XSPC, the RAYSTORM series, or just their products. They seem to clean them pretty well out of the manufacturer's warehouse, and when they ship them, they're not full of gunk and garbage. But this is why you always clean out your radiator, a custom one, not a closed loop radiator. I mean a custom water build where you're connecting loops, reservoirs, pumps, all that stuff. But if you notice, see the flakes and stuff in there? You can see all that. all that black stuff and lighter stuff. Yeah, that came out. That's about 5 flushes, so it wasn't a ton, but still something that could have gotten into my block and my pump and everything and just screwed things up. It's like just like sand in an oil pan. So that out. Again, just boil up some distilled water of any kind when you're done, and then I like to do a thorough clean, like of all the fins and stuff between the radiator. Make sure I get out any impurities and dust and stuff out of there. And yeah, just want to show you that. And then when I'm done, I'm going to put the caps back in and then do a wipe down. The reason why I'm doing this is to wipe down the exterior, the fins, get the water out there, and then I'll wrap it in a towel, paper towels, towel, whatever I gotta use, and then sorry, I almost dropped and I'm doing this from my phone. This is not from handheld camcorder, even though I do have the Samsung S4 camera mount that I will be using on the rest of my rig, and the information on that and the how-tos and what I got, breakdown of everything. So yeah, I'm gonna clean this now, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to start assimilating the build and go from there, and I'll just do updates along the way as I go. Alright, this is Jason Cunningham checking out. Again, make sure to please like, subscribe, favorite, share the videos. It helps me. It's free. Totally free to you. No cost at all. The more likes, favorites, shares, all that good stuff that you hear from every freaking video. The purpose of that, again, is obviously you get cutbacks and kickbacks and whatnot from sponsors, from YouTube itself, in terms of how many visitors, how many clicks do you get on your page. I say stuff that nobody else does. I'm just honest, straight up guy. So all the stuff I tell you, you can apply yourself if your heart's in it and want to go down a path like this, maybe into, you know, computer building, modifications, repair, you name it, just business in general. That's what we do with our marketing company. But yeah, I mean, it's free, so it's a win-win. You get the provided content that I can give you, some bonuses that you may hear from me, or there's probably a million of you that know way more than me, but the point is I do everything very detailed and thorough, because I know the stuff that I search for and look for when I'm trying to troubleshoot or look up a piece of new equipment. Will it work? Won't it work? You know, what are the pros and cons? I try to be as thorough as possible with everything and show you exactly how I do everything. There is no secret society. Let me give you a little bit of information and keep, tease you. And then, oh, let me see what his next video is. Maybe he'll divulge or give me the information then. No, that's bullshit. So don't worry about that. I'm a straight shooter. Always been, always will be. So yeah, you'll appreciate that as long as videos come. But I appreciate your support and help me any way I can. Like I said, I'm not doing fundraisers and all that stuff. This is just a way you can help me on keeping doing this. Something what I love to do. It keeps me preoccupied while fighting this cancer. And a hobby's a good thing to do. It keeps your mind off things. So I just hope everybody's just supportive and comes along the journey with me and likes the content that I'm going to provide. Take it easy. God bless. Peace out.